the Illidan though on that pick with Brightwing, but from what I've been seeing and from my own experience, I would not pick a Brightwing over what you could pick, like maybe a Mouth, or if you have to, a Lily. What do you think?
Well, I have seen Lily work against Illidan, but what's tried and true, what people know, the reason why Illidan was not played very much prior to the patch that nerfed Brightwing was Brightwing's power with the Polymorph, the 3 seconds, and then the Criterize at 16. If they could hold out to level 16, keep it close, that Criterize against an Illidan for 3 seconds can be a difference maker.
And EG ends up picking up Myrden for the last pick, so totally blew out the water of what we were hoping they were going to pick. I guess that's why we're not managers or anything like that for EG, right?
Well, Myrden's a good pick. I mean, he's kind of slipped off the radar, but there's not really anything that's changed about him recently. Nothing too major. He did lose Rewind. It is now up to 20 from 13, but he's still a solid pick. He's a great tank. He can jump in with that Illidan to be, leap in, get that initiate with that Illidan there to get some stuns off, cause some disruption, get some picks. He's a good tank. People just kind of mostly went away from him.
Yeah, he is a good tank. It's just I like seeing my boy Diablo or Stitches just with the hooks. So much more climatic, I guess you can say. But overall, he is still a great pick. And
if you look at their team, they didn't have anyone really. They didn't have a Tyrande. They didn't have an Uther. They didn't have any stuns to capitalize with that Stitches. They did. Sure, they could have Bile, but they didn't really need the Bile. Illidan's going in. Stitches wasn't really going to help them necessarily outside of perhaps really out of position picks. And what others? I mean, Diablo, they don't really need the Apocalypse or anything. The safer pick, I'd have to say, was Myrden here. It was more consistency here, looking for that tried and true tank with the interrupts. Perhaps against that Vol if they need it. If the Vol goes strafe, maybe they can get an auto attack off, a stun. So just good tanks all around. And ZPs has been playing Myrden lately. If you've been following them around, I believe he's been playing some Myrden. He's got that skin. I think he's gonna break out here, the Candy Cane Myrden. So
yeah,
it's always fun to see that skin.
Well, lobby is about to be underway. They are all good to go. Everyone is readying up, saying their good lucks, have funs. Good luck, everyone. So we're going to be getting into this next match. You're now in the process of seeing Wild Growth versus EG in the semifinals of Go4Heroes America's Cup at number 16. So let's get underway. When I get into this, I might need to change the UI around my overlay because I don't know which team's going to pop up on which side. So I will work on that as soon as we pop up here and get underway. All right, so yeah, it is EG on the blue side, so let me switch up the names really quick. If you just want to go over EG at the moment, that would be
sure. Great. I can start with the EG in blue on the left-hand side. We got Mad Timmy, the new support coming in playing Rhaegar. We have Kotha and Luck. Starting with the Zagar, was setting out the creep already. Hydra playing the Illidan, ZP's on that Myrden as expected, and Faye playing that Tassadar. It looks like they're gonna all go out that middle gate. You ready to come in on red, or are you still sitting
No,
up there?
Alright, I'm good to go. We have Jordo on Vala. We have Kilu back on the ETC. Jimmy on, it looks like, Uther. We have Bly back on the Tychus, and Vu on the Brightwing this match. So, back to the 4 in the middle, as you can see. Well, actually, 5-on-5 in the middle. Not really going out laning at this point. I wonder what they're going to try and accomplish. Push some damage, lane clear? I don't they're not going to get much from either of this push. And as you can see, Zagar and Brightwing do separate. They end up going to lanes. And it's just another 4-on-4 in the middle.
Yeah, both teams are trying to see if they can exert their dominance and try to do that 4-man swap. And so far, it looks like EG didn't want to commit to it. They're rotating around. They're seeing what they could do. Wild Growth's trying to do that 4-man bounce between middle and bottom.
Yeah, 4 bottom right now for the team Wild Growth. They're just kind of controlling the lanes. And as you can see, Bly is going to go back up the middle lane and start soaking that. As Idra does come down on Illidan just to kind of clear that wave up. But bottom, Wild Growth has a better advantage over Faye and Mad Timmy. But they're not going to do anything. They say, hey, let's try and get something, a gank mid. That doesn't even work. So it's right now it's all kind of completely over the board. Vu with Idra on top of him takes a lot of damage, but is going to end up getting out. Yeah,
you
very
see that
close.
Brightwing, that dodge, waiting. ZP's had to get that stun at that gate before the Brightwing slipped away. The dodge up and slips out.
Yeah, close call for Vu, but ends up getting out of there. On the side of EG, they do take top Shrine. Doesn't really mean anything because they do need top and bottom. So at this point, it's pretty much back and forth. EG has that little bit of experience lead, but it's nothing to major in. I mean, they are down a talent tier on Wild Growth, but that's not really going to be much because they will get it right away.
Yeah, so far EG, we're seeing a lot of rotations. Idra just bouncing around on that Illidan. They're trying to give different looks to different lanes, trying to see if they can catch them off guard.
Oh, wow. They're both teams know they're going to be going for these giant camps. ZP's coming in, going on top. Idra slowing down Kilu with that damage, but Bly from behind also doing damage. Not going to get Idra down on the kill, and again, they push him back, but Mad Timmy wants more blood. He's like, I want it. You're not taking these. But I don't think there's anything Timmy can actually do. He's outnumbered.
Well, that thing, he delayed him. He put enough of a threat that they didn't damage them, and wow,
Jimmy ends up going down from that. Mad Timmy is also, so 2 supports go down, 1 on each side, and it ends up going into favor of Wild Growth. That was just a strange engage.
Well, they almost had it. It was at about 95% towards EG. And then just unfortunately, the damage was there. The Wild Growth, they came through and turned it back around.
So back to laning at this point. We see Idra starting to work on the giant camp on their side. Kilu comes over and says, hey, what are you doing over there? But it's not going to be anything serious. Does knock him out, and it looks like Wild Growth is going to do... Yeah, they get ahead, and they do end up stealing this giant camp on the side of EG. So good win for them from Wild Growth, but they are still down on experience, though.
Well, it's pretty close. Kilu just popped his head over, saw that Illidan was a half HP, the Giants are half gone, and said, alright guys, I think we can commit. They went in, executed, got the siege camp. EG just said, alright, we're going to give it up. And yeah, it's pretty close, but they do have a little bit of a lead. But it's back and forth. It's less than half a level, nothing too major right now.
And I just want to cap what's happening on top lane. Vu is getting pushed very, very far out from Cawthon Luck. As you can see with the build that she ended up going in. Venom Spines, that is a really good attack. That extra ranging can push him back. Especially the fact that Hunter Killers are coming up non-stop. Pushes Vu away, and this is going to be Cawthon Luck taking a lot of push up top. Gets the towers and the gate down.
Yeah, that Spraywing just not able to hold it alone, and now even that rotation up again, with Muradin. EG just rotating around, taking advantage of that soul lane match up top, and they're just going to have that top secured. So EG's going to try to wait it out most likely until 10, then maybe make a play for bottom. Just play it safe. They don't want to make any mistakes. This ETC bottom, though, looks like it might get caught out.
Yeah, Kilo is a little bit out of position, and you see Idra coming from behind, slowing him up there. Mad Timmy with the totem coming out. Idra still going on. ZP ends up taking that kill, and yeah, ETC ends up going down there. So, as we're going to see, EG does hit level 10 first.
However, they might be able to get 10 before there's really a chance here. It's very close. There it is. Not really too much of a chance to grab anything. However, they still have ETC coming up just now. See if he grabs stage dive. Or no, he goes to the mosh. He goes to the mosh pit.
And Faye and ZP's just down bot clearing the minion wave. You see Idra Mad Timmy in the middle lane clearing that also. And we do have Wild Growth up top, though, with that Night Wave that's coming in on Cawthon Luck. But as Zagar, it's going to get cleared off fast. Mad Timmy, Idra, and ZP's trying to steal Wildgrowth's Giant Camp, and they're going to be able to get it. Bly does go in. Very dangerous move. Rain of Vengeance goes down. Idra gets healed. Mad Timmy gets just wrecked in damage-wise and blows that ancestral healing on Idra. Mosh Pit does go out. They do have Idra and ZP's underneath of it. Idra using his first aid, getting out of there very, very low, but will survive. And that fight ended up turning in the favor of Wildgrowth.
That execution there. They had the advantage. Zagara was top. They rotated around. Tychus was the delay. Then they had the Emerald Wind. Then the Mosh Pit. All well executed, able to get that siege, get the picks that they wanted.
And you can see over there,
well
just,
done.
yeah, good job from Wildgrowth. And again, they go over and they steal the Giant Camp. Now, it's not going to mean anything really because Idra can just demolish them in seconds, but it remains the fact that they aren't being used against Wildgrowth, which is a good thing. Kilu out again, getting slowed down by ZPs, and that body block is insane.
Well,
wow.
If you watched it there, he started out very well diving away, but then threw out his W too soon, just hitting that Muradin and not saving it for when he was closer to the gate, and that cost him his life there.
Yeah, and EG is definitely in that better spot as they're going to be pushing bottom here, and they do have all 5 members. Where up top, it's just Uther and Jordo, Jimmy and Jordo. Overall, it's going to be a better push for EG as they are taking bottom by storm here. And I can see these towers and gate possibly going down here in the next few seconds.
Yeah, the rotation down after they got the... they only got one tower top with the Vala and Uther. They're rotating down now. Ooh, the Emerald Wind might be enough. It was enough to get that.
Mad Timmy gets stunned by the Divine Storm. He ends up going down. And this is on the retreat for EG. ZP's ends up falling in that Rain of Vengeance, but does get out of there. But as you can see, the rest of the team is coming up to approach on him, and they, unfortunately, Tassadar does go down on EG. Kilu with the Mosh does not actually hit anyone, but Coffin Luck, because of mobility on Zagara, ends up getting taken off.
Yeah, they're almost just falling right into this trap here. They're going in, they're committing, and Wildgrowth able to keep the Brightwing alive. The Emerald Wind turns around with the Uther ult, turns around with the Rain of Vengeance, gets the kills, and now has Dragon Knight.
Wildgrowth with the first Dragon Knight of the game. Good job to them. As you can see, they're pushing mid here. They're going to be working on that extremely strong. And like I was saying last game, the rotations, they're going to go down here. As you can see, Minion Wave is almost about to be pushing up, and they're going to end up getting 2 forts out of this. Very good job from Wildgrowth as EG tries to kind of counter this and push them back, but I can see them getting this. They're going to get it, and there's going to be a team fight engaged here in a matter of seconds. Mad Timmy gets stunned up there. Mad Timmy going stunned. Brightwing, Emerald Wing knocks him back, and he cannot Ancestral Healing in time. Timmy ends up going down, and EG has to kind of retreat.
I'm not sure what EG was trying to accomplish there. It's a bit of a misplay. Idra was trying to soak experience mid. The 4 was down at that point. I'm not sure it's worth risking Mad Timmy's life there.
Wildgrowth doing an exceptional job here this match. Vu with that bribe ends up stealing again the EG's Giant Camp. That's like 3 times in a row for him. They're calculating this so well, and they're playing it out like they know how to beat EG here, and it's coming out. They're doing a good job.
Their comp is just, it's working very well in response to this Illidan, Zagara, Tassadar. EG's getting the initiate they want, but if they're not getting that kill on whoever they're going on, it's going to get flipped right around with that Divine Storm, and then it's just going the other way.
Like the last fight that happened that was more closer to Wildgrowth's base, Vu was so close to dying, but they could not secure the kill, and then it ended up coming back and haunting EG because Brightwing is that force that you don't want to let go like that, and Brightwing just ends up turning the tide in the fight. Now, all the other members of Wildgrowth also had their equal part, but as you can see, it turned definitely at that point.
Now it's going to be interesting to see how EG responds. Ooh, Idra might be caught out here on bottom.
Yeah, Kilu doesn't get the guitar solo out in enough time. Vu comes out though, polymorphs, And Kilu coming in, gonna try and do a knockback. Bly comes out with the Odin. They are ready for an engage, but
Yeah.
I think it was a premature Odin.
It was the sprint. They were hoping to get it from Uther. Uther backed off. The Odin was trying to set up to do damage off the Divine Storm. It did not come to fruition. Now they have an ultimate going to be down. EG's going to wait it out. They're going to re-posture around mid, it looks like, seeing if they can pick off something. If perhaps this ETC is out, they're just going to put a little pressure and back off.
Yeah, it's not going to be anything team fighting. As you can see, there's a death wave up top, so they want to kind of clear it, but they end up not going up. Kilu going into the fight. Vu taking a lot of damage. Emerald Wind does go out. Jimmy with the Divine Storm. Blue team member Illidan was killed right there, and Faye is very, very low at this point. Cawthon Luck being forced down from Vu, and Kilu, as you can see, they're going to end up getting her because she just doesn't have that mobility. And she's going to end up falling. I mean, they're chasing, but I think she's going to end up dying here. Yeah.
Yep.
As Jimmy comes up, sprints, and just kind of pokes her and says, hey, what's up, girl?
It's the same thing. EG is going to have to go back to the drawing board, come up with a different way to get with these team fights. They're getting that Illidan diving in, getting separated, the Emerald Wind just dividing them in half. At that point, they just get carved. Especially with that Zagar just on her own. She's not able to get away. Again, you keep making it clear. She doesn't have any mobility. They're able to get that pick, and it's just not going their way right now. Hopefully, see if they can get the Dragon Knight.
And I think, yeah, WG is going to end up getting this. They could not get to the bottom in time. As you can see, Faye and Idra were trying to attempt it. But now, Wild Growth, with the second Dragon Knight of the game, ends up pushing, and they're going to be going for top lane here. They want to get the outer forts completely gone on all three lanes. So right now, Wild Growth, they're doing an amazing job.
Well, they're taking a risk. They're going down that dreaded bridge.
Oh,
they're
that
going
death
that
bridge.
lane first.
That death bridge. Don't do it.
It could set up for a very strong Zagar ult. So I'm curious to see how strong they're willing to commit here.
Vu comes back into the match, so all 5 members of Wild Growth are on that bridge. Very, very rough spot to be in. As you can see, they start trying to back out of there, which is a good play from Wild Growth.
Yeah, they got one tower almost the wall, and the other tower they're like,
Yeah.
alright guys, maybe we're making a mistake. We don't want to go down this bridge, so they pulled back, trying to see what else they can do. They're probably just gonna eke out the rest of the time of the Dragon Knight and just try to regroup and go from there.
Yeah, it's gonna be up in 5 seconds. There's no need to keep pushing with it. So they're gonna wait till Bly comes out of that and see what they need to do. And it looks like Vu is gonna go bribe yet again, and that's the fourth giant camp again.
That was actually very well done. By keeping that Dragon Knight mid, EG was distracted enough for Vu to just slide right in there and get that siege camp with again with yet another bribe.
Very, very good job from the team Wild Growth over here. So they end up capping both giants again on the bottom lane, and they're just going to be clearing the minions here, trying to set way for those giants to cross around the map. And you see Jimmy down bottom. He's starting that bruiser camp, and they're going to end up acquiring this, and it's going to be a full lane bottom push here for the side of Wild Growth.
Well, Wild Growth is going mid. They might get caught out here.
Vu gets stunned. Vu is behind with Idra, getting body blocked at the moment. And, oh, wow, that was so close.
Yep.
Vu ends
He
up
almost got
taken
out of
down.
there. So close. The Emerald Wind was interrupted. That was enough.
Yeah,
Enough damage to get that kill in Brightwing.
Poor Vu could not get out of that one, that's for sure, and ends up falling in that. And EG has a little bit of a night push, a bruiser camp up top push right there, but it's not going to stop Wild Growth from succeeding on and trying to win this match. 2 members of EG in the middle, Faye and ZPs at the moment, are battling ETC and Bly, but they're not going to really engage or do anything like that. Cawthon Luck coming back up with Mad Timmy and Idra, stacking as 5. They don't want to be separated. They want to make something of this, and DK is going to be coming up in 20 seconds. ZP jumps into the fight, kind of backs off though. Not going to go in.
Yeah, after missing that stun, not really able to really do anything at that point. That was their initiation, trying to gamble a little bit, get a pick. They know Brightwing's still down for 10 seconds. That was worth a little gamble there.
Yeah. Poking back and forth, there's nothing wrong with that. As long as no one actually dies from it, you're still good. So, Wild Growth heading down to the bottom lane. They're going to secure that shrine. Now, it doesn't mean really anything for them because, I mean, top is acquired by EG. And they're going to go with the counter here. As you can see, EG, they know our top lane. They're going to go down here in bot lane, and they're going to push and try and see if they can get more out of it than EG would be able to.
Yeah, EG's teleporting back. Wild Growth able to say, hey, look, we're level 20. We're going to push a little bit. We're going to force you back. And now they're going to have a little bit of a leeway in terms of map control to see where they want to rotate around, maybe grab the top shrine. Looks like they're probably going to be giving up that bottom shrine, though, to do it.
And at the moment, we see up top that Wild Growth is starting to head over to the top shrine. They're going to end up taking that in replace of bottom being occupied by ZP and Evil Geniuses at the moment. So, back to those one-on-one shrines. Both teams are level 20. As you can see, that EG is picking up their final ones. Hardened Shield, Demonic Form coming on from the Illidan. It's not going to be Nexus Blades. And this next team fight can be crucial. I mean, if one team ends up failing here, it's going to be a DK. And, you know, it's not after the 20-minute mark, but it's still going to be strong.
Yep, very close game there. EG got what they wanted. They got the level 20 talents. Now they're getting both siege camps bottom. Wild Growth just kind of sitting there top, letting this happen. Now they're going to have to rotate down to respond.
Not too sure why they pushed in there. Vu with the stun on from ZP's. A lot of damage going out. Divine Storm comes out from Jimmy. As you can see, Kilu rocking out there. Does not get anyone, but ends up getting mauled instead. And, yeah, no one ends up dying from that engage. And that was shocking because it looked very close for at least one or two of them.
4 ults to 3 used right there, and yeah, I mean, nothing really happened. A lot of missed ultimates. Tychus popped Odin here. FaZe is probably going to back out here, wait for her team.
Kilu kind of out there. Metamorphosis goes down by Idra. Idra taking a lot of damage from the rest of the team of Wild Growth, and as you can see, ZP's falling back about half-life. Kilu running a little bit low there. Needs some heals from Vu at this point, but it's not going to be enough. Oh, so close. And red team Uther ends up going down, and that was Jimmy. So poor Jimmy ends up dying there in that process.
With their ultimates down, there really wasn't... The safe play was to rotate top. You never really want to get out in an open field with your ultimates down against an Illidan. He's got that improved metamorphosis. It's always going to be up. He's going to be you're going to get chased down. You're going to lose somebody. Fortunately, it's only the Uther. Now everyone's rotating top here. Wild Growth's going to be taking a big risk if they're willing to commit.
Yeah, but at the moment, EG is outnumbered on this top lane. As you can see, Vu's coming back over. ZP is taking a lot of damage. Cannot jump over that. Idra taking a lot with that Emerald Wind and ends up almost going down, but Ancestral Healing goes from Mad Timmy. And on the retreat, Wild Growth is like, we need to kind of get out of here. We're in a bad spot. Vu's low. And Vu caught in behind also. And the maul is Vala. Jordo is also going to be going down here also. So that fight turned in the favor of EG thanks to Mad Timmy's very good performance of his Ancestral Healing. And the fact that everyone was just on the same target at the same time.
They delayed enough to get the rotations up from mid, that the two that weren't there. Idris stayed alive from that Emerald Wind and that Critterize, that Polymorph, he was pinned against the wall, stayed alive. At that point, just turned around completely.
And EG is going to start pushing this middle lane. They have this DK that's a higher up. It's around that 20-minute mark, so it's going to be doing a lot of damage. As you can see, each swing is about 960 damage, so it's a lot of damage going out, and that middle of 4 is going to end up going here for Wild Growth. That
keep is definitely down, and looks like they're going to angle right towards core.
Yeah, they're going to try and finish this. They don't want to be playing any more games, but I don't think EG's going to be able to do anything. Jimmy getting locked back. Divine Storm does go out from him. Vu with the Emerald Wind pushing everybody back. Coffin Luck still in that DK, and as you can see, Rhaegar, Matt Timmy ends up getting just wrecked there in the end. They are on the chase. ZPs, they want his blood. They want him down. The stun goes out. Rain of Vengeance also. Kind of like a misplay there, but it still kind of worked in the end. and ZP goes down. So right now, Wild Growth did come ahead. They did take some core damage. At the moment, they're at 82%, but that's no real issue as there's still 5 members up of Wild Growth.
Yeah, a little bit of a misplay there, EG. Sure, you always want some core damage if you can get it, but there was only 10 seconds left, and those 2 people coming up, both I think it was the Brightwing and the Vala, and they weren't really able to gain too much there, and instead they lost 2, and now the momentum's back in Wild Growth's favor.
In Wild Growth, they know 2 members are still down on EG. They're going to push this as hard as they can, and look at those Giants in the background just kind of doing some work also, but Task Shields come out, so it's going to be protected. And from Faye and Coffin Luck, the Giants are going to end up going down. So not as big as a push as they hoped for. They thought it might have been a better one.
They took a little bit too much damage there on the ETC, on the Uther. If they knew, they said, all right, look, if we stay, we're going to risk losing perhaps one or if not both of those. And they said, all right, let's play it safe. Let's pull back. Let's get this bruiser camp.
So Wild Growth ends up taking bruisers on the bottom lane, as you can see, and they're gonna position into this bush area right here. I mean, it's just they want to get an engage on them. As you can see, we have Wild Growth doing a little stakeout. They're waiting for EG to make a move, and I don't think they're gonna fall for.
Well, it depends. Nope, EG just pulling back. They're probably EG's gonna head up, do their safe play, go get their bruiser camp. Not sure Wild Growth's like, all right, well, I guess our time to get our bruiser camp at this point. They knew the trap just was not gonna work.
Yeah, and Faye shows vision of the map and ends up not seeing them, which is a close call because they didn't see them down there. But they end up just kind of trading off bruiser for bruiser camp at this time. Vu's still in the middle, clearing the middle lane here of all the minions. And, yeah, they're going to stay up top and get the top shrine here.
Yeah, see how Wild Growth responds. See if they just go the safe, grab bottom. Yeah, looks like they're heading down there. They're just going to trade 1 for 1, do the stalemate right now. However, there's a little bit of pressure top with those that bruiser camp.
Yeah, they're going to be ending up pushing with that. As you see, both towers are out of ammo. The gate is almost about to fall. And Wild Growth, they're zoning back. They got to defend this. It's
gotta respond. And yeah, EG has to pull back. They don't want to get caught on the bridge.
That death bridge, yeah. That's something you don't want to get caught on. And that's something old and new players should all know, that those bridges are death bridges. You shouldn't be on them by any means. And this is what Wild Growth was doing at that one point, hiding out in the bushes and waiting for that opportunity to do something. But they're not going to be seen. Wild Growth is going to head to the middle lane, and EG is going to try and set something up here.
Both teams are just rotating around, trying to push the lanes, trying to get the pressure on the other team, hoping they make a misstep.
And EG is going to end up teleporting back to home base. They're going to try and go for a push down here from Wild Growth. I don't think it's going to turn into anything again. It's just going to be a stalemate. Unless there's some good engage that goes on where it would be a team fight. But as you can see, they're just kind of backing off. They don't want to really deal with it at this point.
Yeah, both teams know 25 minutes in the game. Especially on Wild Growth, they know their core is very vulnerable right now. They cannot afford a mistake because it'll probably be the game.
Yeah, if EG gets the DK at this point and goes straight to core, that core is done for. The DK is so strong after that 20-minute mark. I think he starts swinging for 1,200 at this point. I could be wrong about that, but still, it's a huge chunk. That's insane. So, EG coming back up, trying to take this. Kilu going in. Not going to get anything at that play. Idra playing in the bushes right there at this moment.
Just posturing. A little bit of misplay by Wild Growth, but not grabbing the top shrine. So now they're kind of forced into a team fight here over mid.
Bly does pop Odin. I think they're going to try and plant something here. Popping out a lot of damage. Kilu is just taking a lot of damage. And again, EG just backing off. And again, we see Wild Growth with Bly kind of popping that Odin premature because it's going to end up going away soon. And there's nothing he's going to be using it on.
Well, the only thing it did there was make up for that misstep of not having that top shrine. Now they're able to get bottom, but that Odin is going down very soon.
And as you can see, it ends up going down now, and they won't have that for quite some time. So actually, my thing is bugged. It still says it doesn't have a. It doesn't say it has a cooldown. So I guess Odin's back up. I guess he got that battle momentum. Vu caught out here from Idra, but Vu's gonna get away. Jimmy with the stun. ZP's also with the stun going out on Jimmy, but it's not gonna be enough to start anything. And ZP's going in. He wants to try and get a fight here along with Idra. Top shrine is what they need. Vu caught out yet again. Idra going full force on him. Emerald Wind is popped at this point, but it's not going to do enough for him. Jimmy in the backline, Divine Storm, as you can see, Wild Growth ends up taking out Illidan. Vu really low, Jimmy's low, but they still have a lot of damage coming out. Kilu with that Mosh Pit with Matami and Cottonlook in there. And Matami pops up at Ancestral Healing. You can see though, Wild Growth, everyone's really, really low at this point. That's what kind of happens when you have a Brightwing as heals, but they're going to keep pushing. They want to secure more kills so they can win and move on to the finals. And Wild Growth is not stopping. They want blood.
Yeah, they popped that Odin. They were very low there. I was shocked they didn't pull out. They got the pick on Illidan. They could have went for shrines immediately. Just said, all right, guys, let's heal. Let's regroup. Let's get the shrines. They had enough of an opportunity, but now, unfortunately, they overstayed their welcome.
Yeah, Vala gets melted up top there from a pick from, I'm not sure who got the initial grab on him, but yeah, 50 seconds out of the match, crucial at this point. And again, back to the whole lanes. They are 1 for 1 with their shrines. Jimmy in the middle here with the Divine Storm going out. Cottonluck taking a lot of damage out there. Already used his Bolt of Storm. Mad Timmy getting walled there from body blocking, but it's not going to be enough. Ancestral Healing goes on Cottonluck from Mad Timmy. And again, Wild Growth gets pushed back.
Yeah, they were very fortunate there. At first, it seemed like they were a bit too scattered, and Uther might have got picked off, but they regrouped. They turned around, tried to get a pick on this guard, but the Blink was able to save her. And now, see if they can stop the Dragon Knight.
DK is coming up. Kilu stopped Caution Luck from actually grabbing that, but they are down one member. There's no Valley. As you can see, Vu is very, very low. Does get some heals off with that Emerald Wind, but comes into the Archon and gets melted. Gets melted in there. Ma goes down on Bly. Kilu getting hunted down. Jimmy taking damage from that Hunter Killer. Illidan, Idra popping that back out, Metamorphosis, and they're on the chase, and this is looking bad for Wild Growth at the moment. Very, very bad.
Yeah, unfortunately, with a 29-minute Dragon Knight.
Yeah, this is...
The Dragon Knight alone, the rest of the team could just sit there. Dragon Knight alone is not going to be able to be stopped at this point. It is going to be, as you see, good game is called by Vu.
Yeah,
as they know, they cannot stop the inevitable.
1360 just from the DK, and it's just getting melted. So, in the end, folks, that's going to be going to EG.